Okay, wow, this is so cool. Wait. There we go. Okay, hey guys, I'm Olivia. Oh, well, this is super low. There we go. Hey, I'm Olivia. Welcome to today's video and welcome to my first mukbang ever. Guys, this is like kind of a mess. I'm so sorry. Like this was supposed to go live 15 minutes ago, but then like had problems, but you know what? It's all good. We are figuring that out. Okay, this is still like really low. Let's tilt this forward more. There we go. I'm like using my webcam for the first time. I've never done this. So anyways, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about your fantasy self and whether it's like healthy or not. And actually, Janelle Christina, who's one of my favorite YouTubers ever, did a video about this a couple months ago, and I thought it was like really cool. Oh yeah, this is a mukbang, so I should talk about the food that I'm having. So I have some quesadillas and sriracha. I also have some oatmeal with apples and cinnamon and stuff. Another one of my favorite YouTubers, Kate Flowers, like made something like this, and I was like, oh, that's so cool to like put like cinnamon and apples in your oatmeal and like make it like really fallish. I don't know. I thought that was really cool. So, anyways, yeah, like I said, today I'm going to be talking about like fantasy self and yeah, what your fantasy self is like and if it's like good and just bringing my thoughts into this topic. I'm actually okay. Before we get into this, I know this has been like kind of a long intro, but I just want to say that I'm like kind of scared to do this because I can't edit things out. Like, I feel like I'm just gonna have like a complete brain fart in the middle of this and not know what to say, and I can't start over. There's no second chances. So, um, anyways, yeah, we are just going to get into the topic though. So, how do people do mukbangs? Like, I feel like all I'm doing is like eating now, and I can't talk. um, so basically, what your fantasy self is it's like an idea, like a picture that you have for how you want yourself to be. It can be like anything from wishing that you could make the perfect bun by sticking a pencil in the back of your hair to wishing that you were like the CEO of the largest corporation in the company. Like, there's a whole wide range of what your fantasy self can be and how you wish you were. And I feel like, there's a lot of influences on like how you perceive yourself, like, your family, your friends, any groups that you're a part of, society as a whole, even just yourself. Like, you can come up with these ideas and images of how you want yourself to be. And I feel like when you're thinking about like, oh, I wish this was different about myself, like I feel like it's important to think about like who the influencers are of that like desire and whether it's something that you actually want for yourself or if it's something that other people want for you or if it's like a combination of more than one aspect. This is the most disgusting quesadilla. Like, the cheese is cold now because it took me so long to get the live stream going. Anyways, still gonna eat it because it's a quesadilla. Is this even a mukbang? Like, to be honest, like I feel like I don't have enough food for this to be a mukbang. Anyways, Olivia's getting off topic again. I kind of saw this coming. Wait, I have notes here. What was I gonna talk about next? Oh yeah. So I know this like sounds kind of obvious, but I just want to like also say that like every single person has insecurities and every single person in this world has things that they wish were different about themselves. Like, no matter how perfect someone's life seems from the outside, like everyone has these thoughts and wishes that they could change about themselves. So another thing that I think is important about your fantasy self is like thinking about like, is this something that I can do something about? Like, is this something that I can't change about myself? Like, for example, if you like are really big boned and you're like, oh, I wish I had a slimmer figure, like sure you can like lose weight or whatever, but like you can't change your structure. And so, that's something that you kind of have to accept about yourself. Or is it something that you can like change, but it will take time? Like, for example, if you want to get like a really good position at your job, like, you have to like work harder to show that you deserve that position and put in effort and stuff. Or is it something that you can like just change right away? Like, for example, if you wish that you looked more happy, actually, that's me right now. I should be smiling when I'm on camera. But if you wish like you looked more happy to other people, then it's pretty easy to just think to yourself, like, okay, let's try to smile more, let's try to have open body language. Like, that's something that you can like change like pretty much right away. So I feel like it's important to kind of like analyze, is this something that I can change or something that I can't change, so that you don't like get too hung up on stuff that you can't change, and so that you also don't feel frustrated when there's something that you're not able to change right away. It's like taking more time than you thought. I feel like thinking about that beforehand kind of, I don't know, helps to make things easier for yourself and makes you less negative towards the situation. Um, Next thing. Okay, so yeah, that was kind of an introduction to everything that I want to talk about. So next thing I want to talk about like the problems of your fantasy self and then also the benefits, because I feel like there definitely are some benefits to like having an image of who you wish you were. So one of the problems I thought of is like I'm just here like aggressively eating my quesadilla. Okay. Sorry. One of the problems that I thought of is when you like end up spending too much money on things that your fantasy self would like or that your fantasy self would have. Like, for example, if you don't really like reading, but you feel like, oh, I should like reading because my fantasy self would just be, I'd be such a calm person, I'd be really knowledgeable, like that's the kind of person I want to be, but you don't actually like reading in real life, but you like go out and buy like a bunch of books and stuff and spend a crap ton of money on novels that just end up sitting on your shelf collecting dust. Like, I feel like that's not like good because you're spending money on things that you're not even gonna use. And I feel like when you do that, you like kind of feel guilty about it, right? Like every time you walk past that shelf of books, you're like, oh, I should be reading those, but like I don't really like reading, but I spend money on them and I want to read, so I should read, you know? So I feel like that's definitely a problem when you like end up spending like a bunch of money on things. Like, I don't know, or if you want to be more fit, like if you spend a bunch of money on like at home fitness stuff and like fitness equipment and weights and stuff that you never end up using, like again, like it just makes you feel guilty about the money that you spent and the fact that you're not using the things that you want to use. What was the next problem I want to talk about? Oh yeah, and just adding on to that, like like expecting that items will change the person that you are. I feel like, okay, I mean, I know I'm like a pretty left-wing person and that I know that consumerism isn't the fault of everything, but I feel like consumerism definitely like plays a role in people like having this expectation that items will change who you are, and obviously that's not true. I mean, you see in advertisements people who look, so happy with a certain object or with an article of clothing, and you think like, wow, like if I had that, if I like had that thing in my life, I could be just like that person in the advertisement. It kind of gives you this false idea of like the impact that items will have on your life. Like, yeah, sure, having like something like really nice, like it makes you feel good about yourself, it makes you happy, but it's not life changing. And I feel like that's important to keep in mind when when you're trying to like think of your fantasy self, and like, yeah, when you're like doing shopping and stuff, like it's important to like keep that in mind that this item is not going to change who you are as a person. Um oh yeah, the next problem I feel like is when you do something that kind of like goes against your personality, or something that you just like don't feel comfortable with, but like in a bad way. Like obviously like putting yourself outside of your comfort zone is amazing. It's so good for like exploring like who you are and what you like. But when you like do things that you're like don't feel comfortable with, but like in a bad way, you're like, wow, this like really isn't right for me, but you just like kind of like keep doing it. Like I feel like that's not good. Like, for example, if you're like a really shy person, like if you're like me, like I'm super shy. I know it's like kind of hard to see me being shy because like on camera, like everyone seems so like extroverted, but I'm actually like a really, really shy person in real life. I find it really hard to approach people and initiate conversation with people. Like even my friends, I find it hard to like initiate conversation with people. It's just, I don't know, gives me anxiety, but like, I mean, I still do it because I like my friends, but anyways, like if you feel like you want to be more outgoing, but you're like a really shy person, and then suddenly you just like go out there and like start cracking all these jokes and start like, I don't know, just not being yourself. Like I feel like that's kind of a problem. like, I'm not saying that you shouldn't try to be sociable, like, obviously, you should try to be sociable and make friends, but when you just, like, being, like, super extra and just, like, doing things that aren't really you, I feel like it's kinda hard to explain, when like, for example, if you're, like, not really good at, like, telling jokes, but then you think, like, "Oh, I'm gonna go be a joke teller, I'm gonna be the class clown," and then you just kinda go out there and do it, but you don't feel comfortable doing it, and it's just not your personality, like, I feel like that's kind of you kinda have to go with who you are in a way. Um, yeah, obviously try new things, like I said before, but just if you don't feel comfortable with something, just don't do it. It's not gonna benefit you. It's just yeah. Okay, what was the next thing I wanted to talk about? Oh yeah. Okay, I feel like this is like really important, but like being really hard on yourself for not being the person that you imagine is not healthy. Like beating yourself up for not having this certain image about you. Like I just choked on my sriracha. Excuse me. Um, yeah, it's like beating yourself up. It's not good. Like, sure, you might not be the person that you want to be, but this is where you are right now, and there's no point in like being negative about it because that's not going to change the situation. It's not going to make you a different person. Um, yeah, just stay positive. What was the next thing? Oh yeah, this kind of like ties into the last point, but like not being able to be happy in the present. Like I feel like it's important to take note that wherever you are in life, you're always going to wish that you had something that you used to have. So just even if you want to be like this amazing person and well, I mean, you are an amazing person, but if you want to have this image of being like this more amazing person or something like that, then you know, sure, have that image, but you have to appreciate the things that you have now because like for example, when I was a kid, like I thought like, man, being in university is going to be the best. I'm going to be studying something that I'm really passionate about and I'm just going to have the best time of my life. I'm going to have so many friends. And to be honest, like I really do like university, but it's not anything like the way I thought it would be when I was a kid. Like you kind of I don't know. You kind of build like a sense of infatuation with your fantasy self sometimes when you take things too far. You think it's going to be this magical thing, but then it ends up just being like, like okay, like normal. So I feel like that's important to keep in mind too. But what I was like trying to say is like when I was a kid, I had this idea of like what university would be like. But now that I'm in university, I'm like, yeah, university is great. I mean, like I like it, but I wish when I was a kid, I wish having my summers off. I wish I had my summers off to like just be free and go to the cottage and ride my bike and just have the whole summer free. I mean, now I usually work during the summers, which I mean, I like my job, but I also wish I had the free time that I had when I was a kid to just do things that I really like doing. So I feel like that's important to keep in mind too. Like wherever you are in life, you're going to wish you had something that you used to have. So you may as well, in the moment, just appreciate the things that you do have that you might wish you had later. Like, for example, my fantasy self doesn't live with my parents. My fantasy self has an apartment and I don't know, has my own place and it's a beautiful apartment and it's yeah, really nice, but like I feel like when I actually move out, I'm gonna be like, man, I wish I had free rent. I wish I had free food. like, so I feel like that's kind of important too, just to just be like grounded and present and yeah. Okay. So now I'm gonna talk about the benefits of your fantasy self. My gosh, this is like the longest it's ever taken me to eat a quesadilla. Sorry, got finished chewing. It's a lot of chewing. It's just like a rock solid quesadilla. It's so cold. Um. Oh yeah, benefits. I think one of the benefits is that like it can motivate you to do better. Like, for example, if you have like this vision of yourself and you really want to get there and it's an achievable vision, granted, and you like it just can motivate you to like work hard to get what you want. I think that's definitely good and it's definitely, a healthy relationship to have with yourself. Um yeah, just like we have this vision that like makes you work really hard. That's definitely a good thing. Oh yeah, what I wrote here. Without vision, there is no improvement. And it's true. Like if you don't see yourself doing something, if you don't see yourself like being better or like doing like things that you haven't done, if you don't see yourself doing that, then you're not going to improve and you're not going to try new things and you're not going to put yourself out there. Like, and yeah, I feel like your vision can definitely, as much as your vision can hold you back, it can definitely set you free and set you on the path to do really, really cool things, which I think is great. Next thing. Oh yeah, it can be like really, I feel like it can be empowering to see yourself do something. Like to visualize your future self, like to be able to walk through the steps of your future self. I feel like that's really empowering and like really connects you to yourself as opposed to like when you envision someone else doing the things that you want to do and the things that you love doing. Like sure, it can like be really, really inspiring to like visualize other people doing those things, but when it comes to yourself, like it really, obviously connects you because you're seeing like this image of yourself and you're like, hey, that's me doing that. I feel like that's definitely a good thing and can be like really impactful. um the next thing. Oh yeah, well, I just wanted to say that like I haven't actually done research on this, so I don't know if this is true, but I feel like we all have like inherently human traits that we want to have, like in order to fit in with a group or to be able to like, I don't know, survival of the fittest or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like, for example, if you want to have really good social skills, it makes sense from like a society perspective because we want to feel like we have friends and we want to feel like a part of a group and a part of something. So yeah, I feel like it makes sense. And also from an evolutionary perspective, like I feel like if you wish you had like really strong legs, like it makes sense because if you have strong legs, you can outrun your enemies. I don't know if this is actually true or not because I haven't actually researched this, but I feel like there probably is some link between like fantasy self and like survival and also like feeling a part of a group and feeling like you belong somewhere. I don't know. That's something that I have to look into a bit more, but not during the school year because I have enough research that I actually am required to do. So I'm not doing any extra research right now, but maybe sometime after the school year, I'll look into that. Oh yeah, I just want to talk about like overcoming negative fantasy self. So I kind of touched on this a little bit before, just like being really, really positive about your life and working hard. And I think just like being hopeful too. Like, yeah, you might be like working really hard and not seeing results, but just being hopeful that things will change and that things will be better for you. Just having that like sense of hope and just, yeah, just being optimistic about your life and who you want to be. I'm sorry I keep like looking over here. Like, here, I should bring my phone up. Oh yeah, and I feel like, also like I said before, like there are some things that you just like can't change about yourself. So just working to really like let those things go and to try to not let them bother you as much. Like I know it's really hard and you can totally like if you're having trouble with that, you can like talk to your friends or like work with a therapist or something to help you like overcome those really, really negative emotions about stuff that you can't change about yourself. Um yeah, so I just want to like talk about my personal fantasy self because I feel like people don't really talk a whole lot about their insecurities or things that they wish were different about themselves. Um so I just wanted to like talk about that and talk kind of about how my fantasy self has changed like over time. So when I was like in junior high, oh man, I was so ambitious in junior high. Like I had so many visions for who I would be. When I was like in grade 7, I saw myself, I don't know, maybe it was like grade 6 or something. I saw myself being like a professional scientist, a designer, a philosopher. I don't know. I had it all planned out that I have like 6 or 7 degrees or something like that. Like, man, like looking back on that, like, I don't want 6 or 7 degrees. I don't want to be in university till my 50s. But that was kind of my vision for myself. When I was in this was like grade 7 or 8. I had this vision that 'Cause, like, when I was in junior high, I played water polo, so I had this vision that I was gonna be an Olympic water polo player and stuff, and it was also sorry, let's go grab my oatmeal now. Um, yeah, I thought I was gonna be a professional water polo player. I was also, like, really into writing songs at the time. I still am, not as intensely as I was, like, in middle school, but I thought I was also going to, like, be a songwriter on the side, and I had this huge vision for myself, and it was definitely, like, really ambitious, but yeah, that's kinda what I saw myself wanting to be. I think ever since I was, like, in junior high, like, I kinda had this, like, vision of, like, wanting to have long legs because I have, like, a really long torso, but pretty short legs, so that's something that I definitely, like, wished that I could change, but obviously, like, that's one of those things, like I was talking before, like, I just have to accept the fact that I have short legs, like, I can't change the length of my legs. Well, I mean, I'm sure there's some way I could do that unsafely, but yeah. Um, I've always really liked boho style. I feel like ever since I was in middle school, I've had this vision that like, oh, I'm gonna have so much like boho clothes. I'm gonna be like, I don't know, gonna look really cool and stuff. And I have some boho clothes that I really, really love, but I definitely didn't meet my grade 6 expectations of my fashion sense. Um, what else? Oh yeah, when I was like really little, when I was like in kindergarten or grade 1, I wanted to be an author. And yeah, that's something that I think is like really cool. I mean, I not to toot my own horn or anything, but like I am pretty good at writing. I suck at math, but I'm really, really good at writing. So it makes sense that I wanted to be an author. My current fantasy self is like, okay, here's what I have in mind. So I see myself graduating in 4 years with an education degree. I'm kind of like I'm taking a lot of business classes right now, so it's going to take me a bit longer to finish my education degree. But like after I have that, I'll work as a teacher and then take some night classes and finish my business degree and like start a business on the side. That's kind of like where my life is at right now. I think I definitely do want to be a teacher and also like, I don't know, just be a strong woman in business or something and start up a company or something like that. That's kind of where my life is at right now. Um, what else? My fantasy self definitely travels a lot. Like my fantasy self has been to like pretty much every continent. Yeah, my fantasy self has a dog. Definitely do want a dog at some point. So yeah, that's kind of like what I want to be, and yeah, and kind of what some of my insecurities are. What are my other insecurities? Oh yeah, I'm like really insecure about the fact that I'm like really socially awkward. Like it's not just the fact that I'm shy. Like I don't know. I feel like being shy is like kind of cute, but when you're like really awkward about it, like I am, I'm just kind of like cringy in public, and it's just like, oh no, like how do I talk to people? How do I initiate conversation? Like that's something that I wish I was like really, really good at. And again, that's like one of those things that you have to like work really hard for to develop those social skills. Um, so yeah, that's something that I'll definitely like try to work on a bit more, just being more out there and meeting people, even though it's like really scary. um, oh crap, we're oatmeal here. Wow. I should never do a mukbang ever again. Like, what is this? Like, this has just been a series of me like talking with my mouth full, like shoving quesadillas in my mouth, like having oatmeal run down my face. Um, Oh, and one more thing I just wanted to add. I think I meant to say this earlier, but I feel like this whole like fantasy self thing, like it's not a new concept. Again, I haven't researched this, but I feel like it's kind of human nature, and I feel like that's something that's kind of been around since the beginning of like human time. It's like wishing that you could be like someone else. So I don't know. I just want to say that so you don't feel like, oh my gosh, I'm the only one who has these like huge insecurities and who has these like huge dreams for myself, but I don't know if I can achieve these dreams. Like I feel like that's kind of like a natural human thing. So yeah, I just wanted to like add that on. I feel like I've covered everything. Yeah, so I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. This was definitely like really, really new for me. I've never done a live video. I've never done a mukbang. Well, good. I liked it. It was a good time. I like eating food. I feel like the next time if I do a mukbang, like I'm gonna do like a collab or something with someone because it's kind of hard to do a solo mukbang. Like it's kind of hard to like talk and eat at the same time. So if I have someone else here, like they'll be talking and I'll just be like shoving food in myself yeah, I'll be shoving food in myself while they're talking and switch it around. But anyways, I hope that you guys like this, and yeah, I'll see you guys next week with another video. I'm gonna kind of like start on Christmas videos next week, so that's pretty exciting, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, let me know in the comments what your fantasy self looks like, what some of your insecurities are. And anyways, I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye!